So you want to know how to generate revenue online with free SEO traffic, potentially in a matter of months. I'm going to share with you how we do that for local businesses inside this video. Let's get started. Now, before we get started, let me give you a bit of a background. Many of the clients we work with don't have internal resources like developers, copywriters, project managers to implement our SEO recommendations. With businesses like these, we'll like to take over the whole thing, managing the site, SEO, copywriting, advertising, all of it. This puts us in a position where we're able to make recommendations and execute changes right away, while saving clients thousands of dollars in budget. Think about it. If a business doesn't have internal development team, then they have to hire people on a site. So this will take us to make the recommendations for the business, and then for them to hire the developers to execute the changes if they know how to do that. But most of the time, the developers don't have SEO expertise, and so they wouldn't know how to implement certain changes on the site. And so this is where the client has to pay us to make the recommendations, the developers to implement them, us to train the developers and walk them through everything, right? And the whole thing is paid on an hourly rate, which adds up to quite a bit of money. But taking over the whole thing also puts us in a position where we really have to deliver results soon. And we have to, because the way you make money in the agency business is by growing and retaining the clients first of all. It's not as much about getting new clients on board, because you will never grow the business unless you're able to deliver results and make the clients stay with you for 6, 12 months, 2 years, 3 years, and more. But once the clients start to see the revenue come in, it really helps evolve the relationship and build trust between us and the clients. So this paints the picture of why we're under pressure to start getting results, the first phone calls, the first quote submissions in a matter of a month or two. Now, with that in mind, let's jump right into the rankings.
Okay, so this is our client website. The company is called Citadel. If you search for Citadel cameras or you go to citadelcameras.ca, you'll find them. So the company is specialized in network cable installations and security installations, mostly for commercial properties, but they also do a little bit of residential work. We started working together a couple of months ago. And you can see how back in October, they didn't really rank for anything. But as soon as we relaunched their site, they already had a couple of keywords on page 1. And the number of keywords that they have there is consistently growing. In about a month, we were also able to rank for multiple keywords in Google Maps. And so our services, they basically paid for themselves almost right out of the gate. Now, how do we do this? So as we relaunch the site, we're able to fix majority of the technical SEO issues. So things like 404 pages, image optimizations, getting the fonts right on the website. We also research keywords and come up with a fleshed out keyword strategy for the website. And as we relaunch the site, we create a strong foundation that we can build upon in order to get SEO results relatively fast. Don't forget, we're talking about 20 to 50 page websites here. Obviously, if we were working with a large e-commerce store or an enterprise size website, we would follow another approach. But with these smaller sites, we're generally able to make an impact right out of the gate. So let's imagine we relaunch the site. By now, it's technically sound. It has some of the first optimizations implemented on the site. In most cases, old content that the clients had on the site before we relaunched it, it will be optimized to rank for the main location. In this case, it's Toronto. Toronto is a city in Canada. It's about 6 million city. So it's not easy to rank for a city like Toronto. So what we like to do in cases like this is we go after smaller keyword opportunities. One of the examples here would be going after security camera installations in smaller towns that are close by Toronto, towns like Barrie, towns like Vaughan, or Richmond Hill. I've pulled a couple of examples here for you. So if you look at these keywords, they're all focused around security camera installation. So we have security camera installation Toronto, we have security camera installation Brampton, Barrie, Innisfil, which again are all small towns close by Toronto. And so if you ask an average person on the street which one they want to rank for, if they want to go for Toronto or a smaller town close by Toronto, probably everyone will say they want to go for Toronto. And that's understandable. It's a big city, and so you feel like there's a lot more business there. But you can see that there's a little bit over 200 monthly searches for security camera installation Toronto. And then if you look at security camera installation Mississauga, for example, it's at 90. If you look at Barrie, it's going to give you 70. And so if you combine a couple of those opportunities together, you're going to have more volume than you would have with Toronto. But then the catch is the KD over here stands for keyword difficulty. It's much easier to rank for a lot of those queries as opposed to Toronto. So while yes, Toronto is the primary keyword and everybody is competing for Toronto, there's a lot of other keywords that people are generally missing out. Now, let me show you a couple examples. So I have my incognito window open, and if I go ahead and search for a security camera installation Barrie, which is a small town close by Toronto, you can see that Citadel Cameras ranks number 2 in the list. Now, we're going to see similar results if we search for Vaughan, which is going to give us first position, and then there's multiple other towns that we rank for. I'm not even going to go through all of them. So this gives us basically the first example. So we take a primary keyword that we want to rank for, and we rank it for secondary locations. So instead of going for a multi-million city like Toronto, we're going for a smaller town like Vaughan or Barrie. Now, another approach here would be, instead of going for the primary keyword and secondary location, is we're going to go for the secondary keyword in a primary location. So it doesn't mean that these keywords are not important. It's more like going after a keyword that is not as prominent as, security camera installation. So in this case, we're going to go after one of the brands. So it's called Ubiquity Installation Toronto. And so you see Citadel ranks number 3 for this search. And these results, they generally fluctuate between position 1 and 3, depending on where you search for, et cetera, et cetera. Now, another good example in here would be, instead of going for security camera installations, we're going to go for commercial security cameras Toronto, which makes it kind of a little bit more niche, but arguably this is actually a lot more important keyword for the brand. Now, you can see that Citadel ranks number 1 in here. And the trick is, we haven't done too much optimization, really. We made sure that the website is technically sound. We made sure there's no issues or errors. And then, of course, we worked a lot on the content, making sure that Citadel is the best answer possible for any content out there. Let me give you an example of content. So if we go to one of those pages, let's say security camera installation Barrie, you'll see that it's combining the brand with the keywords. And we're trying to give the best answer possible. So we're going to go for professional security camera system installation. And then we'll tell a little bit of security camera packages, right? And along with the package, we're going to have offers in here so that a person who comes to the site, they're able to see the packages and they're able to get the offer all in one place. We will also include things like reviews and answers to common questions. Why do you need professional security camera installation? And we're going to talk about types of security cameras that people may find useful. And then we're going to have links to other relevant content on our website. Now, from this perspective, this is going to look to Google as if a person who's coming to the site is going to find the answer to whatever they're looking for. They'll get the discount, they'll learn about different types of cameras, they'll get answers to the frequently asked questions as well. Now, within a little while, we'll be able to rank Citadel for a lot more primary and secondary keywords, which is going to grow their business even more. And look, there's a lot of search volume for towns like Barrie or Innisfil. So if you were to go and search for security camera installation Vaughan, and you look at the map, you'll see that a lot of those towns, they're really close by to Toronto. So a lot of the people who work in Toronto, they will actually live outside. And so there's going to be a lot of search volume for those smaller little towns around Toronto. Obviously, there's a lot more work that goes into this, and I'll be sharing more about what we do in the future videos. Let me know in the comments down below how this approach worked out for you and other topics you're interested in hearing about. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.